And then Sonic's eyes suddenly started bleeding really realistic blood. The end. Oh yeah, this will definitely take off. Oh, wait, hang on a second. What are you doing in my house? I didn't give you permission to... Oh, wait, that's right. It's that time of the year again where it's socially acceptable to go up into random strangers' houses and beg for candy. Well, close enough. Well, due to certain circumstances this year, I don't think that I'll be able to give you any candy. But hey, I could give you a YouTube video where I rant about creepypastas for an ungodly amount of time. Wait, no, don't go. Hi. My name is Henry, and boy, creepypastas, the good old campfire stories of the internet. Back in 2010 through 2015, these things used to be the bee's knees. And then we went through that weird phase in 2016 where everything in the past on the internet was suddenly cringe, and we kinda disowned them. And nowadays, they're just kinda treated like an emo phase of the internet. Of course, that's not to say that creepypastas still aren't around. Dozens are written every day, and there's still a large following for them. But when you compare their popularity then to their popularity now, you can definitely see a decrease. But just how well do these infamous creepypastas hold up? Well, that's what I'm here to find out. So in this video, I'm going to look back at some of the most popular creepypastas, read their original stories, look into their history, and yeah, I don't really have a clear plan for this video. I really just wanted to make a video talking about creepypastas. So without further ado, here's the video. Just please watch it. Please just watch. Well, you can't make a video talking about creepypastas without talking about... Well, do I even need to say his name? We all know the infamous story about a pale guy who spends most of his time in the woods stalking children. No, the other one. Okay, for Christ's sakes, I'm talking about Slenderman, okay? Ah yes, the uncrowned king of creepypastas himself. Slenderman is one of those weird cases where, despite not technically originating from a creepypasta story, he is still widely considered a creepypasta for some reason. He originated in a contest on the Something Awful forum in 2009, in which people would have to create a modern cryptid-like character. And a man by the name of Eric Knudsen, using the pseudonym Victor Surge, did just that, by creating this image. That's fun. And then somebody turned it into a video game for obnoxious 2010 Let's Play YouTubers to scream at. And ever since then, he's been a staple of the internet. Hey, speaking of the original Slender game, I haven't actually played it. Maybe I should try it out. Alright, let's see how well Slender holds up. This is my secret to overtaking PewDiePie in subscribers. As you can see, I only play the most relevant games. Okay, who the hell is texting me while I'm playing Slender? Nobody interrupts a man while they're playing Slender in 2020. I think it says that in the Bible somewhere. Still haven't seen a single Slender or a single man, and I feel falsely advertised too. Oh, Jesus. Okay, well, you know what? Maybe he's friendly. Maybe he's nice. He's not nice. Okay, if there's one thing that I actually think is pretty unnerving about this game, it's how dark it is. Like, legitimately, I can't see anything. Like, hey, Slendy, can you hit the lights maybe? Oh, what the f- You know, while playing this, I suddenly remembered that one other Slender game, Slender the Arrival, but I'm not going to be playing that one in this video. Alright, hello everybody, welcome to, Slender the Arrival. This is fine. So, how do the Slender games hold up? They're just fine, I suppose. Nothing too special. But I'm not interested in the games. I'm interested in the Slenderman character. I actually really like Slenderman's design. It's very simple but pretty effective. But am I actually scared of him? Nah. I remember that I used to be petrified of him back when I was younger, but nowadays I just look at him and think, Jesus, I was scared of this? All you have to do is pretend that it's Pepsi Man in a business suit and anything potentially scary about him is gone. But I can definitely see what was so appealing about him to the internet. The games got the character extremely popular, earning him the title of the biggest horror meme. And to that I say, what the is a horror meme? Just call him a creepypasta like the rest of us, Jesus Christ. And he kept that title for a pretty long time. And then that one thing happened. That sort of made everybody simultaneously go, hey, you know what? Maybe this has gone a little bit too far. That still didn't stop Sony from getting their greasy paws on it. Okay, truth be told, I haven't actually bothered watching this film, mainly because I've already been ranting about Slenderman for 5 minutes and I've got to move on to different creepypastas, but also because I don't want to waste my time watching a Slenderman movie made in 2018. A little bit late to the party there, Sony. But if you want my opinion on it, the trailers look extremely bland, and I've heard nothing but glowing reviews for it. Overall, this movie would have been a much better move to make in 2015. Oh wait, hang on, there was a Slenderman movie in 2015. That one Marble Hornets movie. Shit, I forgot to talk about Marble Hornets, didn't I? I really like Marble Hornets, and it succeeds in making Slenderman scary better than most media does. And before you start commenting, that's not Slenderman, that's the operator. Shut up, they're the same thing. But yeah, it's really good. I'd definitely consider watching it if you have a lot of free time. And I mean a lot of free time. And I haven't watched the movie, but I've heard mixed opinions on it. Well, I think we've covered everything that there is to cover about Slenderman. I don't have any smooth transition. We're talking about Jeff the Killer now. Well, if there's ever a creepypasta to rival the popularity of Slenderman, then Jeff the Killer is certainly it. Heh, heh. I really don't like Jeff the Killer. Okay, well, let me rephrase that. I don't like the 2011 creepypasta version of Jeff the Killer. Jeff originated in a YouTube video made in 2000 something something, and although the video isn't anything groundbreaking, it's a slideshow made on Windows Movie Maker, I do like the ideas behind the character more than what the most popular version of the story went with. Such as Jeff still having some morals by caring about his brother, and him not harming children. But then, the 2011 creepypasta version came in and said, a potentially interesting character? Can't have that, and made him an edgy Hot Topic teenager who's also a sadistic psychopath. I won't be reading the entire story because it's too long, but to make a long story short, Jeff moves to neighborhood, beats up bullies, a bunch of stuff that doesn't matter happens where his brother gets arrested, he gets set on fire and turns white. Why did I write that in the script? Then he kills his mom, kills his dad, kills his brother, kills the neighborhood, kills my motivation to get videos out faster, you know, the usual. But hey, if I don't like the Jeff the Killer story, there's always multiple stories about killers that I can read instead, like Nina the Killer, Jane the Killer, Killer the Killer, the list never ends. After the creation of Jeff the Killer, people realized that they no longer had to create interesting or scary monsters. They realized that they could just retell the same exact story of an edgy teenager with family issues who decides to murder people. Hell, I've even written my own while I'm editing this video. Surely these will become popular. Right? But in the defense of Clockwork and Tiki Toby, although I don't like the stories too much, there are aspects I enjoy about them. Like Clockwork being a character based around time, something I haven't seen much popular creepypastas do. And at the very least, Tiki Toby's story actually tried to make you feel sympathy for the main character and understand why he is the way he is. And although it admittedly did feel a little bit forced, I did enjoy the Slenderman plot twist to Tiki Toby, but that's where my praise ends for most of the killer creepypastas. Luckily for me, killer stories are the only overused format for creepypastas. I said, luckily for me, killer stories are the only overused format of creepypastas. Please don't make me talk about. Well, I suppose I had to talk about them at some point. I feel like every single fan of creepypastas who isn't a child that believes sonic.exe is real has made fun of lost episode stories before at least once. Even I did it at the beginning of the video. But can you blame people for making fun of them so much? With all the stupid tropes, the dramatic narrator, the creepy VHS tape, the episode that was only aired once but for some reason was only seen by you and nobody else? And of course, who could forget the good old classic hyper-realistic blood.
Go for some Cheetos.
But just how did lost episodes become so popular? Well, it all started 13.7 billion years ago when the Big Bang happened. And then a couple of years later, somebody decided that red mist is something that should exist. And that was considered a bad move among a lot of people. And by a lot of people, I mean me. Because much like with killer stories, people realized they could tell the same story over and over again. To the points where people decided to switch it up a bit by making creepypastas about video games. Which led to the creation of absolutely amazing stories with absolutely no flaws, such as sonic.exe of course, which I'm pretty sure was supposed to be a joke creepypasta, but then somebody decided to turn it into a real game for obnoxious 2010 Let's Play YouTubers to scream at. Yeah, that happens a lot. Well, considering I did it with Slender the 8 Pages, I might as well check out sonic.exe. Well, this just looks like a normal Sonic game so far. Sure hope nothing goes wrong. Well, sonic.exe is a fine short game, and yes, I'm aware I sort of crushed video game creepypastas and lost episode creepypastas together in this part of the video, but I wasn't about to make two separate sections about two types of stories which are basically the same thing, just about a different form of media. My motto in life is, if they both involve hyper-realistic blood, then they don't deserve their own separate sections in a YouTube video. You'd be surprised the amounts of times you can use that motto in non-lost episode related situations. Although I will admit, I have a lot more respect for video game creepypastas than I do lost episodes, since we've gotten some pretty good stories such as Ben Drowned and NES Godzilla. And sonic.exe of course. But that's not to say that lost episodes haven't had their fair share of good stories as well, cause how could I go on without talking about the infamous Candle Cove? Personally, I never really considered Candle Cove a lost episode story since it's not about a real show, nor is it about a, well, lost episode. But people seem to consider it one, and... Why am I talking so much about this? Nobody cares whether Candle Cove is a lost episode story, just talk about the actual story itself, Henry. Jesus Christ. Candle Cove is a solid story with a really good plot twist that I didn't see coming. Despite the fact that most people probably already know the twist, I won't spoil it. Because who knows, there's always the possibility that there's that one person who hasn't and would really enjoy it. So to that one person who hasn't read the story or hasn't had the plot twist spoiled to them, go ahead and check it out. You'll enjoy it. And I'll still be here waiting for you once you come back. Probably. Anyways, that's pretty much all I gotta say about that. So I think it's about time we move on to the final part of the video, which is the best creepypasta to ever be made. In my opinion. And yes, I do realize that I only sort of talked about 2 creepypastas in this entire video, and the rest was about a certain type of creepypasta. But unless I lose a bet with you, I'm not dedicating an entire 3 to 5 minutes of a video to talking about spongecry.avi. However, I would like to have a few honorable mentions for creepypastas that I didn't have the time to talk about more in this video. So, lightning round. Mr. Widemouth, enjoyable story, good plot twist. Stairs, short and sweet, good plot twist. Strangest security tape I've ever seen. Really good story, amazing plot twist. The Rake, fine idea for a monster. Story is... meh. No End House, good. Laughing Jack, another great idea for a monster, but I didn't like the story. NES Godzilla, haven't finished it yet, but good so far. 1999, a little overrated, but enjoyable for the most part. Smile.dog. No, look at that little cute guy with his little cute smile. Oh, can't get enough of him. Just look at him, isn't he adorable? Oh. Russian Sleep Experiment, good. Ben Drowned, really good. Herobrine. Oh, look at that little guy. Look at him. Isn't he adorable? Oh, can't get enough of him. Oh. Abandoned by Disney. Cool story, I suppose, but I don't really see what's so scary about Mickey Mouse with inverted colors. There really isn't anything terrifying about colors being inverted. Wait, no! Ted the Caver. Solid start. Well, now that we've gotten all of that out of the way, we can finally move on to what I believe is the best creepypasta to ever be written. So without further ado, yeah, it's SCP. Does SCP even count as creepypasta? I mean, I suppose it can fit the definition, but also I've been waiting for a chance to talk about SCP for a while, so I'm taking advantage of this moment. Now, I know what you're thinking. Yeah, you. You're probably yelling in a fit of rage at your screen saying, "But Henry, isn't it kind of unfair to compare normal creepypastas to SCPs considering most creepypastas are one-off stories with usually only one monster, meanwhile SCP is a large collection of multiple stories with hundreds if not thousands of unique and creative entities?" And to that I say, yeah. But moving on, that's the main reason why SCP is so special. They can range anywhere from an indestructible lizard with anger issues, to a weeping angel, to soup, to superhero underwear. You never know what you'll get. Some are sad, some are funny, some are disturbing, and the fact that there's always new ones coming out makes it nice since you'll never have a shortage of stories that you might just enjoy. I mean, even if new SCP stories were not consistently being created, you still would not have any shortage of SCP stories. Trust me. The concept alone is amazing, although the idea of some sort of government foundation existing whose whole purpose is to protect the public from anomalous and strange entities isn't anything new. Making a collaborative writing wiki is something that hasn't been done before, and its execution is amazing. The stories proved to be so popular that they inspired yet another viral game that, yes, obnoxious 2010 Let's Play YouTubers did make videos screaming at. But unlike all of those previous examples whose popularity has faded largely, SCP's community is still very strong, and if anything, it's only gotten bigger as of recent times. However, although I do believe SCP to be above the rest of these creepypastas I've ranted about, I'll still always have a soft spot for all of these stories. Sure, they aren't perfect. I mean, you just finished watching an entire YouTube video talking about just how imperfect these stories are, but it's important to remember that behind every single badly aged story about Sonic the Hedgehog with realistic bloody eyes is somebody who decided to try their hand at making an internet horror story in hopes that it would be copy and pasted throughout the web. And when people did inevitably discover their small creation, they managed to turn it into a movie or a viral game or even more stories. And that's always something special. So yeah. Maybe I don't enjoy most of the creepypastas I liked as a kid nowadays, but I've gained a lot of respect for them. And if you think you got an idea that might just be the next big scary story to shake the internet, give it a try. And as always, my name is Henry. And also, please subscribe. To be completely honest, I lost track of time while making this video. It felt like October was yesterday, and right now it's literally Christmas. How can a year go by so fast and also so slow? Please subscribe, please!